Hello, my fiery friends, and welcome to another fiery fun stream. I'm your host, the Infernoman here, and hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you are at. So, we're of course going to be continuing our deep dive into Edge of Eternities because this is an awesome set, and it's honestly my favorite set of the year. But what exactly are we going to be playing today? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, let's not waste any more time. I'm super duper excited for this deck right here. So, let's go ahead, let's jump into it and show you exactly what we are talking about. All right, shifting over right now, and where we are? Oh, there we are. Yay, nice. So, thankfully, of course, in the recent several years that we've been playing on Arena now, thankfully, Wizard has been now acknowledging the Commander cards and been putting them into Arena so we can make them into Brawl decks. So, the deck I was wanting to build today is actually based around part of the pre-con, but we're going to put our own fun little spin on it today. So, the deck we're going to be doing is going to be, of course, we're using Inspirit Flagship Vessel, a legendary spacecraft. So that means we're going all in today on the spacecraft and also seeing how well they actually work. Because this is Jeskai Space Force. I'm super excited for this one. Yeah, I'm really jazzed for this. Oh, hey, Den Splendid, you have arrived. Yes, you have. Thanks again for joining us today, my fire friend. Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. So, Space Force, yes, I know for some people this might kind of tilt some people with the name. But realistically, if I was to think of an actual, real actual Space Force, this is actually what I think, in the future, where it's going to be this awesome, super cool ship that's going to be dropping out these tiny little things, kind of I guess you could say kind of like a Star Wars kind of thing, but actually, cool and realistic. But that's neither here nor there for now. Anyway, before I continually ramble on, let's kind of break down again how we're going to be working with this. So, those of you, whether again you are longtime viewers or if you are again a new person who's watching this live or on the replay, as always, here's what the breakdown's going to be like today. First off, we'll go over all the stats in the deck in just a few moments, and then after that, we'll go over every single card that we have built for this deck. The deck is focused, of course, on a budget, so I think we're going to be rocking a budget of, I think maybe I'm trying to remember off the top of my head right here. I think it's 20 rares, and I think it comes out to about, 45 to 50 bucks on, if you actually want to do this paper. I mean, granted, you probably could just buy the pre-con, but what fun would that be when you can just build your own deck from the ground up? So that's really how I'm going to be rocking this today. However, of course, if you are interested in seeing how far we could take this deck, we'll be playing this deck for the first half of the stream, and the second half we'll upgrade the deck to see how far we can push the deck and make it even better than it currently is. But still, for those of you that like to play on budget, this is the perfect time to check it out right here now. But of course, let's jump over to the stats right now so we can just get this going. So, as always, long-time viewers of the channel know how we do it. We have to talk about the stats of the deck before we dive right in. So, our Jeskai Space Force deck is going to be, as I just mentioned, white, blue, and red. You're looking at an average mana curve of about 3.2. It is a little high, but we do have ways of getting around that. In total, we'll have 17 creatures in the deck. We're going to be rocking 13 instants, 7 sorceries, 35 artifacts, and 3 enchantments with a rounded out total of lands, meaning 35 in whole. So, actually, how does this all work? I know we haven't really had a chance to really kind of touch upon Spacecraft, but I'm excited for what they can do. I'm a big fan of artifact decks in general, and I'm hoping actually I can get a copy of these for my upcoming, I have an artifact deck already that's built, but it's a 4-color one, but I think we could squeeze in a couple Spacecraft in that in the future. But that's neither here nor there for now. Let's actually talk about what are we trying to do with this. So, it is basically going to be a artifact mid-range pile of good, awesome spacecraft from this latest set. We're going to be using here's Inspirit Flagship Vessel here. So 3 mana, Jeskai colors. It's a spacecraft that says 5/5. However, you have to station it in order to turn it into an artifact creature. So this spacecraft at 1, when you activate it, you have to tap, of course, a creature to put a charge counter on it based on its power. You can station only as a sorcery, and if it becomes an artifact creature based upon whatever is the max total. So for this one, that would mean 8. So in other words, if we say tap enough creatures to get a total of 8 charge counters on it, it becomes a flying legendary artifact spacecraft. And it says right here, all other artifacts you control have hexproof and indestructible. So ideally, we want to get up to that magic number of 8, so that way we can then start making all of our stuff basically untouchable for the remainder of the game. However, even stationing it by 1, of course, is amazing for this. That literally pretty much every creature we have can just turn that on. So for the station ability of 1, at the beginning of your combat on your turn, put your choice of a +1/+1 counter or 2 charge counters and up to 1 target artifact. So that's how we're going to slowly build it up. What's great is it works on its own self. So once we get that first counter on it to station it, then it should be able to just build itself up by thankfully building up our other creatures or other artifacts, which can then start turning on all of our other spacecraft and artifact creatures into bigger threats, or at least start stationing itself on the next couple turns much quicker. So with that, As far as the rest of the deck is concerned, we're just trying to support that game plan with either proliferating stuff, or we're going to use vehicles. We're going to mix and match that with some Spacecraft. Just literally, it's going to be a pile of everything. So, starting in the 1-drop slot here, we have Focus Fire. Focus Fire deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature, where X is 2 plus the number of creatures and or spacecraft we control. This scales up very well into the game in the early part or even the late part, depending on, again, how many creatures and spacecraft we have. Reroute systems also from the set here says at instant speed, choose one. Target artifact or creature gets indestructible until end of turn, so great protection. Or reroute systems deals 2 damage to a target tap creature, so we can just get some early game spot removal or give it protection to whatever we need. Speaking of additional protection, Swords to Plowshare is going to be here. Exile target creature. Its controller, of course, will gain life equal to its power. Granted, of course, unfortunately in Arena, it is a mythic. However, in paper, it's super cheap, so throw in a copy while you can. Ether Spellbomb here, just simply for tempo reasons. Enter it in. You can sacrifice it to either draw a card, or you can use it to bounce something back an opponent has to do with their hand, so good for us at any point. Board the Weatherlight here, dig 5 cards deep to then out of your library, pull out a historic card from among them and put it into your hand, and then put the rest onto the bottom of your library. Remember that again, historic cards are referring to sagas, legendaries, and artifacts. We have tons of artifacts, so great for us for digging out what we need. Lumen class frigate here is going to be a 2-mana spacecraft. It has station for 2, so that means turn it on for 2, then give other creatures you control +1/+1, and at station, wow, 12. That sounds like a lot, but trust me, we can actually get there pretty quick. So station for 12 gives it a flying lifelinker of 3/5, so it's actually pretty nice for us. Swords was mythic, now it's an uncommon. Oh, that's right, that's right. You don't have to actually spend a mythic anymore on this card, thanks to the, what is it? Was it the Final Fantasy set, Den Splendid? That was the one I think we finally got now, a cheaper copy of this. So you actually don't need to spend that, so that's actually good for us. Helpful for saving your wild cards. Razorgrass Ambush here, 3 damage to attacking or blocking creature, or it can be a land in a pinch. Starfighter Pilot here, human pilot, and whenever it becomes tapped, surveil 1. So good for some early game kind of filtering through our deck. Cryogen Relic here are an artifact that when it enters or leaves the battlefield, simply draw a card, or you can sacrifice it and then put a stun counter on a target tapped creature to make sure we can't tap it for a bit. Diversion Unit here is going to be an artifact creature robot. It has flying, however, you can pay 1 blue to sacrifice it and counter an instant or sorcery spell unless if an opponent pays 3, so good for at any point for tempo. Drill Too Deep here actually is a pretty good card for us. You can either use it as artifact removal or put 5 charge counters on a target spacecraft or planet we control, so good for us to start pumping up Inspirit or any one of our spacecraft. Invasive Maneuvers here deals 3 damage to a creature. However, if we control a spacecraft, deal 5 damage instead, so great spot removal for us. Dovin's Veto, because we are in the right colors for it, so we will throw in a good counter spell here and there, so this can't be countered and just counter a non-creature spell. Metacant Core Guidelight here, again, one of my favorite artifacts from this year. So it's a robot legendary creature here. It has asterisk and 3, meaning its power is equal to the number of artifacts we control. Start your engines on this mechanic. So if we hit max speed with this, anytime we cast an artifact spell, you can pay 1 and then copy the spell. This would be insane if we can just get this up to max speed when the time comes. No More Lies, again, none of our counter spells here. Station Monitor here. Lizard Artificer, it's going to be Azorius. So 2/2. When you cast your second spell each turn, you get to create a 1/1 colorless drone artifact creature token. We are going to be talking about drones in the upcoming deck tech we have in a couple days, so stick around for that in the future. However, drones are basically like, I guess I would say, excuse me, I guess they're basically Thopters. They just can't block unless if they're only creatures with flying. So just keep in mind with that when it comes to drones. Enthusiastic Mechanaut here because we have a ton of artifact spells, so this makes them cheaper to cast. Boros Charm here, great as a catch-all for anything here. 4 damage to an opponent's face or a planeswalker. Give all of our permanents indestructible until end of turn, so great on a budget. Or give a creature we control double strike until end of turn so we can finish off an opponent. We have Rip Apart here, artifact or enchantment hate for us, or deal 3 damage to a creature or planeswalker. Arcane Signet, we are 3 colors, so we're definitely going to want to take advantage of fixing our mana better. Automated Artificer here, it only taps for generic, however, it's still good for us because we do want more artifacts in the deck. Collector's Vault here, good for us for filtering, draw a card, discard a card for 2, and then you can create a treasure token to help us with, again, fixing mana. Mech Titan Core here, we have a ton of artifact creatures and vehicles, so we can then utilize this to hopefully create the Mech Titan if we want to go a little bit Power Rangers or Super Sentai if that is more your flavor. Either way, if we can then pull that off, you can have a giant mech here that has flying, vigilance, trample, and lifelink and haste. However, if the token leaves the battlefield, they can bring back all the cards we exile with Mech Titan Core back to the battlefield under our control. So good for just kind of just morphing things here and there. It gives us an alternate kind of win con, if you will. Mindstone here, again, we're playing with artifacts. We want to ramp as much as possible, so just in the deck. Ornithopter of Paradise here, probably the only artifact that awkwardly this creature cannot use Station because it has no power, but that's perfectly fine. We're mostly using it as a cheap mana rock. Reckoner Bankbuster here, as I mentioned earlier, although it is mostly a Spacecraft deck, we do have some key vehicles that still help us out with the game plan. So with Reckoner Bankbuster here, same thing, just it gets charge counters, so it does count with charge counters, which is great. We can remove the charge counters when we need to and tap this for 2, so then draw a card. If we don't have any more charge counters on the Bankbuster, and then we'll drop for us a treasure token, and also we can get out of it a pilot. So that's actually good for us for just tapping stuff or crewing stuff, so good overall. Smuggler's Copter here, a mainstay for any kind of artifact deck here. Anytime it attacks or blocks, draw a card and discard a card, crew it for 1. Wear/Tear, use it for either an artifact, use it for an enchantment, or use it for both at the same time for 3 mana. Banishing Light here, we have this of course in the deck just as a simple budget catch-all version to just exile non-land permanents we don't want to deal with, at least until it leaves the battlefield. Flight Deck Coordinator here from the new set, Human Soldier 3/3. At the beginning of our end step, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, gain 2 life. So nothing super crazy, but helps us again with stabilizing. Memories of Nihilem here, or as it actually is, Stroke of Midnight from the set. So destroy non-land permanent. If it's the controller, its controller will then create a 1/1 white human creature token. So just good for us for more spot removal for anything. The Seriema. So this is a 3 mana Spacecraft here. If you get it to station for 7, it becomes a flying 5/5, which gives other tapped legendary creatures we control indestructible. So good for us at any point in the game. However, when it enters, you can also search your library for a legendary creature card and put it into our hand, and then shuffle. So good for us for digging out legendaries. Flood the Engine here, mostly because we can then use this as, again, another source of removal. However, if we don't want to deal with removing the card, because maybe that's worse for us, use this instead, so this aura can then be put onto a creature or vehicle, and then you tap the enchanted permanent, and then it loses all abilities, and it doesn't tap at all down. So then, good for us for just certain kinds of spot removal. Moonfoe Puzzle Maker here. It's a Moonfoe wizard, but it's an artifact creature, and anytime it becomes tapped, you get to scry 1. So good for us to make sure when we're stationing, you can use this to kind of filter our next draws. Celindy Visions here. We played this card many times already. Dig 6 cards deep to get an instant or sorcery out, or use it as a tap land. Litho Breaking here from the new set. You create a lander token, and then you sacrifice an artifact. When you do, you deal 2 damage to each creature. So a small low-level wrath for us for the deck. Lander tokens are actually pretty nice because you can use these to sack them to then pull out a basic land and put it back onto the battlefield. Sundering Eruption here. Sorcery speed to then do some land hate, or it can be also a land in a pinch itself. Warmaker Gunship here, so 3 mana artifact Spacecraft here. If you then make it into a Spacecraft, it becomes a 4/3 flyer. However, when it enters, it deals damage equal to the number of artifacts we control to a creature or an opponent controls. So really, really powerful spot removal in part of the late game. Hana Ship's Navigator here, classic card here, but it's great for our deck. It's a human artificer, it's a legendary creature. For 3 mana, you can then bring back an artifact or enchantment card from our graveyard back to our hand, so it helps us with recursion. Boosted Sloop here, even if this is just on the battlefield as a vehicle, simply anytime we attack, we draw a card and discard a card, so good for that, or we can crew it for 1 to make it an artifact vehicle. Renegade Wheelsmith here, anytime this creature becomes tapped, target creature cannot block on this turn, so good for us to keep a blocker out of the way, and also again, great synergy with stationing for our vehicles. Or I should say our Spacecraft. Kilo Apogee Mind here, this is actually the other card in the precon that we actually think works really well with the deck as the actual in the 99 itself. So legendary artifact creature Robot Artificer here. It has haste, and anytime it becomes tapped, we get to proliferate. So great for us anytime we tap this to either station or do anything else to then just get a bunch of counters on a bunch of stuff. Chromatic Lantern, we can then use this of course to make sure all of our mana is fixed to make sure we can tap for any color. Cultivator's Caravan here. It's a vehicle, but also it's a pretty good card for us as a mana rock. You can also crew it for 3 to make it a 5/5 artifact creature. In the 4-drop slot, Refurbish here, bring back any artifact we want from the graveyard to the battlefield. So great for us for recurring some of our bigger ones out here. So awesome overall. Wedgelight Rammer here is going to be a Spacecraft. If we crew it for 9, it becomes a flying first strike 3/4 artifact creature. Or when this creature just simply enters, you get to create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. We have Witch's Enchanter here. You've seen me play this card many times, of course. Enters, and it just becomes artifact or enchantment hate, or use it as a land. Padim Console of Innovations here. Velkin Artificer gives all of our artifacts hexproof, so this is great for us. And at the beginning of our upkeep, if we control the artifact with the greatest mana value or tied for it, draw a card. So good for us to get some small card draw here and there. Anchor to Reality here. If we want to, we can sacrifice maybe one of our lower end artifacts here to then use this ability, sacrifice an artifact or creature, and then dig out of our library an equipment or vehicle card and put it immediately onto the battlefield. That's actually pretty powerful for us. And then put the rest of the card, then we shuffle, and if that mana value is less than the sacrifice permanent's mana value, scry 2. So good for us for that. Raph's caption here, Ship's Mate, really awesome human wizard here. It has flash and flying, and also we can cast historic spells as though they have flash. So great for us on the beginning of our opponent's end step to just flash in all of our spacecraft. Sammy's Ship's Engineer here, 4 mana Human Artificer, also from the set as well. At the beginning of our end step, if we control 2 or more tapped creatures, create a tapped 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. So helping us just build out our army of robots. Whirlwind of Thought here, we have a ton of non-creature spells, so simply every time we cast one, just draw a card. Conqueror's Galleon here, a vehicle that's a 2/10 here. When it attacks, exile it at the end of combat and then return it to then transform it into Conqueror's Foothold, a land here. You can tap it for generic, or you can use any one of those other abilities. 2 and tap it to draw a card and discard a card. 4 tap it and draw a card, or 6 to bring back a card from our graveyard to our hand of any kind. So great for recursion, good for us to grind out the late game. Hedron Archive here, again, this is mostly for artifact ramp for us. We can also sacrifice it later for 2 cards. Weatherlight here, anytime we deal combat damage with this card, we can dig 5 cards deep to bring out a historic card from among them and put it into our hand. So good for us as a artifact flying vehicle. Pinnacle Monk here, again, it looks a little awkward because it technically doesn't really provide us anything synergistic with the deck, but it's still good overall because you can use it as a land, or you can just use it to enter and then bring back an instant or sorcery card. It also has prowess, so if you can pump this up a little bit, you can station afterwards if you don't want to attack, then pump up one of our other spacecraft to make it more powerful. Sky Sovereign here, console flagship here, a classic card for us for this deck. Legendary artifact vehicle. When it enters or attacks, it deals 3 damage to an opponent's creature or planeswalker they control, so good for us overall. Almost done, everybody, so we're going to get this going in just a moment here. Rescue Skiff is going to be a card that when it enters, return a creature or enchantment card from our graveyard back to the battlefield. So bringing back something is really nice. Station for, of course, 10 to make it a flying 5/6 spacecraft. Guide Life Path Maker here, also a really cool card for us here. So this is actually a 6/5 vehicle, has Vigilance and Crew 2. When it enters, search your library for an artifact card and reveal it. Put it onto the battlefield if it has a mana value of 2 or less. If it's not, you just simply put it into your hand. So just good for us to pull out any artifact we need to. Valor's flagship here, 7 mana, so it's a little on the expensive side, but you really realistically don't want to actually cast it for a full price. Honestly, you want to use it for the cycling ability to make some pilot tokens, which could be good for either crewing or for stationing, and then hopefully you can bring it back with something like Refurbish or Rescue Skiff just to get more extra value out of it. Speaking of bringing back things here, Brilliant Restoration here, very, very expensive, but if we can get this to go off in a pinch here, for 7 mana, return all artifacts and enchantment cards from our graveyard to the battlefield. This can bring back us after a Wrath, which is really good for us. Voyage Home, it has affinity for artifacts, so while it is 7 mana, ideally you want to cast this for 2 if we have enough artifacts out. If we do, draw 3 cards, gain 3 life. Good for refueling. Pinnacle Killship here, 7 mana for a 7/7 flying for stationing 7. However, when it enters, deal 10 damage up to 1 target creature. So good for us to, again, just get something out of the way. And then finally, the last card in this budget version of the deck, Extinguisher Battleship here. Literally, if I'm sure also you can totally tell, this is kind of like, I guess, the Magic's version of Star Wars' Death Star. I mean, let's be honest, it just blows stuff up here. Come on. How can you not say it's not that reference? Any case, 8 mana for this battleship. It's a spacecraft. When it enters, destroy target non-creature permanent. So this actually can target lands if you want to. Then this spacecraft deals 4 damage to each creature. So this is another one of our Wraths here. However, also if you can station it for 5, it becomes a flying trampling 10/10 spacecraft. So good for us to do some heavy damage. And then to round out the whole package here, our budget land base here. So we have country roads, 4 plains, 3 islands, reef roads, mountains, rocky roads here, and all of these smaller tap lands we can get, of course. We want to have more artifacts, so we are going to throw in the artifact lands. But we'll have Lonely Arroyo here, Desert Land, Razor Tide Bridge, Artifact Land, Tranquil Cove, Life Gain Land, and it's kind of like repeating for the rest of them. So that means Eroded Canyon, Silver Bluff Bridge, Swiftwater Cliffs, Abraded Bluffs, Rustvale Bridge, Windscarred Crag here. Then we'll have Mystic Monastery for perfect fixing, but it comes in tapped. Perilous Landscapes, one of our fetch lands. Our Archway here can reset one of our modal lands to reuse again. Buried Buried Ruin can then be sacrificed to bring back an artifact. Command Tower is a staple. Demolition Field for non-basic land hate. Escape Tunnel is another fetch along with Evolving Wilds. Mech Hangar can turn on any one of our can be fixed for pilots and vehicles. Mirrodin's Core here. We are using charge counters so we can proliferate just a little bit here. This actually goes a long way to helping us with fixing mana. Nesting Grounds here can move around some of those charge counters if we want to restation other cards. And in Terramorphic Expanse doing the exact same thing as an Evolving Wilds and an Escape Tunnel. And that is, whew, the whole deck, everybody. Thank you again, as always, for hanging in there. But again, always get exhausted when I try to talk about a whole Brawl deck. Any case, hopefully, again, you're excited I am to do this because I'm really jazzed right now to see how else it's going to go. So, is it possible for us to do some stationing and it's going to be some attacking with some Spacecraft? Well, only one way to find out. So, let's go ahead. Let's jump into it, everybody. Let's see how well the deck does. Man, I'm super jazzed for this one right here. This is going to be so much fun to do. And Dense Planet, yes. Did catch your message here? Yes, Final Fantasy with the other cards like Bolt, Counterspell, and Brainstorm, yes, they're all at lower rarities now. So now is the time to start crafting cheaper versions of some of the most prolific staples in Magic. So Bolt, Counterspell, Brainstorm, lots of other cards also can be done for cheap. So unless if you're like me, who had to get them early on, you probably wasted some rares or mythics. But hey, for newer players out there, you actually don't have to spend that much, unlike I did. Okay, any case, enough ranting for now. Let's go ahead, let's jump into it now. Let's see what we got. So, got the gunship, Medicant, reroute systems. Okay. I'm going to be a little bit slow here, but I think we can make this work. At least Medicant can turn on with what we have, I believe. Let's see. What's our opponent playing? They're playing Toxrill. Ugh. A gnarly creature card, but let's see if we can get around that. Okay, gain some life. All right, opponents. What you got? Okay, Swamp. Reassembling Skeleton. Okay, so they're going to be trying to recurse quite a few things here, but we'll see if we can get around that. We'll have Country Roads. And let's see here. We can't do anything yet until it taps. Granted, it will be able to just keep coming back, so that's the only annoying part. But hopefully we can get around it. Okay, reroute. Just do 2 damage early on. Get it off the field. They'll have to pay mana to bring it back anyway, so that does buy us a little time. Alright, Buried Ruin. And okay, well let's at least get the start your engines mechanic going. Okay, so opponents. Okay, another Swamp. Toxrill's at 7, so it's gonna be a little while. So hopefully we have enough time to get our game plan going here. Okay, opponent is looking at our hand. Joy. So that means they'll probably throw away Chromatic Lantern, maybe the Weatherlight, because those are the cards that are going to help us either fix and dig out more cards. Okay, opponent. They throw away the Chromatic Lantern. No surprise. All right, so thankfully we do still have the mana fixed so we can actually get Inspirit going. So with this, let's station, turn it on, put some counters on it. There we go. Okay, so now Medicant is actually going to be nice because even with Toxrill's annoying ability of putting -1/-1 counters, we can counteract that with our Inspirit for the time being. They will have to keep wasting mana to actually get the skeletons out, though. Deep Cavern Bat. Opponent. Okay, so they did take away our Deep Cavern Bat, but that's okay. Warmaker Gunship can get us back the card. Representation. Okay. Alright, they're trying to get their value going. But let's see if we can get around that. So, Warmaker Gunship. Entering. Okay, so we did get that back. And then tapped, because we can't do anything for now. Let's station. And then let's see, how do we want to do this here? We'll put the 2 charge counters on there so we can start turning on Warmaker Gunship. One of the good things, at least with our actual commander, is since it's not a creature, they need artifact removal. And the good news is, against mono black, they don't really have any, at least thankfully in Arena, they don't have anything that destroys artifacts straight out. So we do have time. Although I said technically they do have some options, sort of. Wait. Oh, they're playing with an alchemy card? That's gross. Let's see, what does this one do? Because I have no idea what they do. Whenever one or more creatures dies, put a wreck counter on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, if this enchantment has 1 or more wreck counters, remove a wreck counter and draw a non-land Seek a non-land card. Oh, that's terrible. Okay. I mean, it's fine, everyone. We can still make it work. So, let's see how we do this here. Let's put some charge counters. All right. And that does turn it on. That's nice. Put more charge counters on there. Or I say, yeah, 2 there. Swing. Down to 17. Nice. Start turns in number 2. Station here. Scry. Okay. Okay. Well, we're slowly starting to make our way through this. This will be the gunship will turn on next turn and it has a hexproof. Thankfully, also our Moonflow Puzzle Knot is also there too. Or I should say Moonflow Puzzle Maker. I don't know why I said. Okay. Noxeril coming in. So they're trying to minus us now, but that's okay. Thankfully, though, we have an option for that. We have an answer, everybody. Take that, Toxerail. So this is what I was just saying earlier. There are going to be some cards where we don't want to destroy them, but we can lock them out. So this provides us now time for what we're doing here. So station now. We do some scrying. Perfect. We'll keep that land on top. That turns on the gunship. And then we will also put some counters on it. There we go. Spacecraft, everybody. There we go. Space Wars does it, everybody. Woo! All right. First win, everybody. Well, that felt good. See? I mean, I will say again, Spacecraft are a little slow to turn on, but once you get them going, man, they're actually fun. I like this one. This is actually a good one. Probably should get the Precon. I do like a lot of the cards in there. But there you go, everybody. So, yeah. Works really well against slower decks. I would think Spacecraft would be great in probably an actual full commander game if you're playing a free-for-all. 1v1, I do anticipate there is going to be probably some downsides to a deck like this, so I probably should acknowledge those as we're getting their next match going. With Spacecraft, the biggest downside is you have to tap a lot of stuff just to kind of get things going. So that means you will have a slower game plan. However, there are plenty of ways you can kind of mitigate that among various things. And overall, I still like what the deck does. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's keep this hand here. We have what we need to get our vehicles going. We'll see if we can get Inspirit hopefully out soon, though. Our opponent is playing Omega Heartless Evolution. Okay, I haven't actually played those. There's so many cards that we kind of missed from Final Fantasy, but I mean, Edge of Eternities is already here, and I'm super happy about this set. I mean, even though I still wanted more time to actually play with Final Fantasy, but I'm still excited for this set, so I guess I'm a little conflicted. I don't know. What are your thoughts overall, everybody? How have you been so far feeling with this schedule that we've been now pushing out? Like, what's it? A set every other month? Yeah, that is getting a little exhausting, though. Neck hanger. Let's bring out the Mind Stone so we can start pumping up. Okay, opponents. Okay. Ingus Scientia. Is that how I say it? I have no idea. Voyage Home. That'll be nice for later. So let's play a command tower. And let's see. We don't want that to go off, so let's get that out of the way before it taps. Mech Titan Core. Alright. Again, getting our ramp package going. So hopefully we can then start turning on our stuff here. Titania. Collector's Vault. Okay. We now bring in Inspirit. Collector's Vault. Okay, now we really just need a creature. Any creature can start getting our game plan going. That's all we need to do now. Any creature. Come on, deck. We are running out of cards, but we do have a Voyage Home, and it is ready at max affinity, so we should be able to draw into some action here. For anybody out there that's... I have a question for anybody that's watching right now. Has anybody here actually had a chance to also play with Spacecraft yet? What have been your thoughts? Whether it's, again, 1v1, Commander, Constructed, Standard, let me know. How do you feel overall about these cards? Enthusiastic Mechanot. Opponent. We will cast Voyage Home. Draw some cards. Opponent. Okay, great. We will station. So now our Inspirit will thankfully start generating value. Opponents? No. Oh, they got an alchemy card. Boo! Say no to alchemy, everybody. I just hate alchemy cards. So they bounce away our stuff. And that means now this is going to be more expensive. So disgusting, by the way. That's okay. We did turn on our Inspirit, so that was the most important thing. I guess we'll start putting charge counters on there. Okay. +1/+1 counters. If we can get the Mech Titan core out again, that should work for us. Padim is also good too. Omega. Okay. Here we go. Is this going to be something we're going to have a hard time with? Okay. Actually, let's activate the ability now. Collector's Vault. Draw a card. Nesting Grounds might actually be helpful. But we'll throw away, first off, the Landscape. So they lock that out. But that's okay. That's not a big deal for us. Oh, okay. Here we go. Flood the engines again. So that shuts down Omega. And it gets it tapped out of the way. So that means that buys us time. Reef Roads. I guess Kadeem helps us out. So that means now, thankfully... let's see here. I guess we'll put counters on there. +1/+1 counters. Station for 3. Nope, not yet, you say, Dense Planet. That's okay. I mean, I know your style is not quite with just artifact shenanigans. You definitely have your cards I'm sure you're interested in playing with. Speaking of artifacts, though, I definitely want to start building a Tezzeret Dimir deck. I still haven't decided, though. Do we want to do a Brawl version? Or do we want to do a full 60 card? I'll have to think about that, I guess, for a little bit. Okay, Enthusiastic Mechanaut coming back. It's got 1 card left, so hopefully this should be the turn for us. Okay. Cultivator's Caravan. So we have a good way of kind of doing this right here. So we will crew immediately. Tap. Thankfully, with the extra layers here, this should be pretty easy for us to do this here. There we go. Station once again. Now all of our artifacts are hexproof and indestructible once again. Okay, so with that, Weatherlight. All right, awesome. Nice. We got our stuff going here. Feeling good. We'll put the counters this time on top of the Weatherlight. Thankfully, everything is tapped, so we can swing here for a free hit. Opponent does have a lot of life, though, so it's going to be a little while before we can actually take him down. Okay, opponent is sacrificing. They don't really get any huge value out of it, so that works for us. Summon Bahamut. That's annoying. But everything is mostly blocking them from doing anything, so they only can hit Dean. And that's a small price to pay because Inspirit still can at least get another hit in. Hopefully here. Okay, hold on. Wait, can I do this ability? Okay. Can we activate that ability? So that means we would have to activate... Okay, exile this vehicle. 4 other artifact, creature, enter vehicles we control. So this would mean we would do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to wrap my brain around right now, seeing how we can get out of this. Okay. Does he destroy it? Okay, so they do destroy their own non-land permanent. Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll see how that goes. I think we can also now start moving those counters off of the Collector's Vault, so I think that'll be our next plan here. Open the way. Okay, opponents. Adventure's in. Okay. Okay, so they're going to start putting stun counters on stuff pretty soon here. We'll see if we can kind of get ourselves going here. They swing. We activate the ability. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. We summoning the Megazord. Did it work? Nice. It did. It worked. Sorry, opponent. We got the Megazord up and running, everybody. We did it. That's actually the first time I've actually been able to get Mech Titan Core to do its thing. Okay, so with that, Ether Spell Bomb. And we now will do our thing here where we go big. Do you block opponents? We actually got the Mech Titan off. I'm so happy about that. All right. All right. Come on, opponents. Block. I dare you. But so far, we've done pretty good with the Omega Heartless evolution on the field. Scary card. I haven't had a chance to actually play around this card. I want to, but we kind of just ran out of time with the Final Fantasy stuff. Okay. Big swing here. Boom. 10. Down to 26, and we go up to 36 ourselves. So that's actually pretty nice for us. I suppose we could play Inspirit again from Exile, so that actually is kind of nice for us. And then from here, we station and turn it back on. And there you go, everybody. So there we go, replay it. And now our Mech Titan's also hexproof and indestructible. So all we just got to do is now survive a turn or two here, and we should be good to go. Even if they lock down Inspirit, that's fine. That won't matter too much for us because we literally just keep smashing our way through with the Mech Titan. Ooh, opponents. Okay. Opponent was trying to make a comeback here. They devoured all their lands, bringing everything back again. Okay. But this card does not have reach, so we're fine at least for a little bit. It doesn't have trample either, so we actually can get around this. Okay, stay station. So they turned on their Titan God Core. Okay. We haven't had a chance to play with the planet lands yet, so I can't really say how well that does, but we can try. Wait, actually, do we want to do... Hold on. No blocks. We'll take the damage. We can only activate this as sorcery. Okay. So I think I find a way around everything here. Okay, Slimby Visions. Let's dig. Come on, deck. No Moralize is not what I wanted to see, but that's okay. I guess I'll have to take it. Better than nothing, I suppose. Okay, so let's put more counters on top of our Titan here. We swing. And swing. Do you block, opponent? Okay, you do. That's good. I'm surprised they didn't block the Inspirits, but okay. Damage is damage. Okay, so with that, opponent. That is a terrifying creature, though, but we do have still a way to just keep blocking for a little bit longer, but I'm still scared they might try to do something here. Okay, they mill 2 cards. Okay. Opponent sacking the land. They return another permanent from their graveyard to their hand, so what do they get? Okay. Bahamut is coming back again. Wait, how much is that again? It's 9. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait. Can we counter that? I think we can. Okay, opponents. They swing. Okay. Technically it is Xaxes, but we can bounce this away right now. Wait, hold on. Ward 3. Okay, we can pay that. Okay. And we still have mana open to still counterspell if we want to. Opponents? What's your answer, opponent? Okay, so good. We did bounce it. We go up to 50. And then opponent, I don't think they have enough. Wait, do they have enough for Bahamut? Or are they going to try to bring in Omega again? Dense Planet, Tezzeret, Brawl decks make more sense. That is true, though. You know what? Maybe we will do that. So let's try that overall. Okay, no more lies. Wow, they do pay it. Okay. So they can stun this, but that's fine because Mech Titan still can get us going here. All right. Wedge Light Rammer. We make a token. We then move a counter. Let's see. Okay, stun counter. So that does buy us a little bit of time there. Wait, why didn't I just do that before? I'm stupid. I realized I probably could be moving stun counters onto their creatures. Wow, that probably would have made a huge difference with this deck. Nobody hate me for that, please. Okay. Any case, let's see. Station, flying, and okay. But the robot also has hexproof indestructible, so I think that won't matter for us. Okay, 2 charge counters on there. We swing here. Down to 18. Okay. And then, well, I guess we can station again. Could be fine. Right? Okay. So, still looking pretty good. Our opponent does not have a way of, even with Bahamut coming down, he can destroy Inspirit, but that's fine. We just bring him back again, and we can station again with him. Oh. I think I might have gotten a little too ahead of myself there, but okay. So everything comes back. But we could still get Inspirit to do its thing. Okay. Still looking a little here, but that's okay, everybody. If our opponent swings with Omega, then they're locked out for a turn. Let's see here. Hold on. Can we activate this? Oh, only at sorcery. Okay. Okay, so how do we get out of this? We have to once again... Alright. Inspirit comes down again. If we crew everything, we turn them back on. So with that, we have to station. But, hold on. We need to see how we can do this correctly here. Crew 3, crew 3. Okay. Okay. Crew this for 3. Tapped. Trying to see if we can pull this off, everybody. Okay. So. Station for 5. Still not enough. Okay. That still means we can... Okay. We can turn that on. Put counters on that. And then blow up Bahamut here. So this won't be as painful. Because they lost their main one. We will lose a permanent out of this deal, so that's going to be Inspirit again. But we're slowly making our way through. Get back to the command zone again. Getting a little expensive here, but we'll find a way to get around it, everybody. Famous World Sire once again. How many lands did they devour this time? This one's been a grindy match so far. I'm having fun, but definitely it's still anybody's game. Man, we were so close to closing it out there. Okay, poo-poo UFO. Poo-poo. I'm childish, by the way. Big hit there, but we're still only at 43, so that's not the worst. Pinnacle kill ship. Oh, well, that's pretty good. Okay, this can help us out a bit here. So... Okay, what's their next move? Okay, they draw 2. Okay, so with that, I guess Pinnacle kill ship actually comes in? Hold on. Hold on, everybody. I'm trying to find a way to get around this. Inspirit coming back again. We'll hold off on the kill ship for the next turn. So, from here... Okay, so crew 3 again. This is actually where stationing comment gets a little clunky, everybody. Alright, so we turn on Cultivator's Caravan. To then, let's see. Station. Okay. And then we will station this by putting some charge counters on it. Still needs to get up to 9, though. That's the only awkward part here. Okay. We can do it, though. We can do it. Opponent draws 2 cards. We just need to blow up that counter before it's too late. All Fate Scroll. Wait, what does that do? It's from the set, too. Okay. It's a mana rock. Sacrifice. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Wow, that's a lot of cards they draw. Oh, boy. Not looking too good here, everybody. We're going to still try to get around this. Istola. Or Ishtola? Is that how I say it? Ishtola? Okay. I think that's it. Well, the good news, of course, is they can't blink the token, because that means that'll go away. So that's mostly the one thing I was concerned about. Wow. This one's definitely going for quite a bit here. We need a couple more creatures, and then I could probably station things a lot faster here. But we're still a little behind here. Man, we're so close to closing out the game. Valga Slayer, okay. Opponents. Swinging away. We have no way to block. So we take... Ugh, heavy hit here. Down to 12. But we're not down yet. Okay. They exile Omega. Okay. They will tap down things. But that also buys us a little bit of time here, because here's what we can do. They can blink it. That's a lot of counters. But we can lock down some of these things for the time being. Okay, so... I think what we'll need to do is we will use one of our lands here. We can create a pilot that turns on our vehicles, which can make Inspirit and the others indestructible again. Okay, I think we have a plan. Okay. So far, it's actually been quite... This has been quite the match. It's been a while since we had something this big going on here. Terramorphic stance, not anything helpful there. Okay, so... Let's see. Or we can do this to turn on a vehicle. First off, let's sacrifice the land here. Okay, we'll get a red source. And then from here, sacrifice this land. Makes a token. We turn on the caravan. We can use that to station. Back all of our stuff is indestructible again. Okay. So little by little, making our rounds here. Pinnacle land shit. Oh, they actually had a counterspell. Wow. Terrible, by the way. Okay, well, that fizzles us a little bit there, but not the worst. Okay, we still... We'll go with there. Okay, in the meantime, put 2 charge counters. That turns it on. We swing here. Down to 43. Wow, what a swing this game has been so far. Alright. Okay. Automated Artificer. No true value from it, but we just need blockers now. That's all we need. Okay. Dang. Not quite enough, everybody. Well, that's alright. Wow, that was a good game, though. I will say, even though we did lose that one, that's fine. We still had a pretty good game there. That was actually really a testament to how grindy the deck can be. It actually took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. Okay, even so, hopefully you guys were enjoying that one. Let's play another one here. Depending on how long this one takes, we might already have to go into the non-budget one, but we'll see. I'll see if I can try to squeeze out maybe a little bit more time today to see if we can make up enough time so we can actually properly show off more of the deck. But how do you feel overall? That one was definitely a lengthy game, but it did give you a very good idea as to, you know, what you can expect out of a deck like this. So a combination of spacecraft, vehicles, artifact value overall was pretty good. I actually was happy with that one. So this is also good where the Mirrodin core actually goes very well with Inspirit, because putting those charge counters on Mirrodin's core means that it basically is it's a great land for us. But until then, let's get the Tranquil Cove out. So we've got to get our ramp package going like normal. Our opponent is playing Tevil here, the Balanced Scale. I don't think I've played against this card, so We'll see. Will their dragons beat our artifacts? I guess we'll find out here. All right. Let's get going here. Mirrodin's Core. And we'll play the Signet, fixing our mana. So once we can get down our next piece here. Okay. Conqueror's Galleon. That's fine for now. Put a charge counter on it, so this way we can get Inspired out next turn. Mind Stone for now. Okay. Opponents. Still a little ways before we can do our things, so that's okay. Tevel. Down to 24. Razor Tide Bridge. A little slow, but we're still going to be fine, everybody. In the meantime, Banishing Light. Get rid of Tevel. Put him back. Okay, so that does buy us a little bit of time. Put another charge counter on it. So at least with the charge counters, that'll help us out once we actually activate everything. Because let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 5 lands. Inspirit comes down, I believe. We start putting the charge counters on him, and we should be good for there. And we can start adding more charge counters to Mirrodin's Core, so we could just use it as a good fixed land for us for this deck. Okay, opponent's just still going to do little swings here and there with their stuff. Their mana dorks won't do anything, so this buys us a lot of time. Hopefully. Alright, Inspirits coming down. We will have Diversion Unit coming on in. We station it. Opponents. Oh, they had a Putrefy. That's terrible. That's annoying, too. Alright. Well, alright. Well, our plan's going to have to wait a little bit longer. That's okay. Let's try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Devil's going back. They swing again. But the good news is we still have ways of getting around things here, so it's not the worst. Sky Sovereign. Devil's off the field again. Wait. Hold on one second. Wait, why didn't he die? Oh, okay, okay. It's 3 damage. My mistake. Okay, down to 21. Well, once again, miscalculated there. It's okay, everybody. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Old Drotha. Okay, so Graveyard Shenanigans are up and abound. Okay, they're going to make their tokens. Swing in with their stuff. Get their lands back. Annoying, but that's okay. Down to 17. Okay. Chromatic Lantern's good for us here, so we can now still fix. And then Sarima. We will dig out. Who do we dig out for this? I guess Badim is probably our best option. Gives all of our stuff protection at least once we can get them going. Okay. Well, we don't really have an answer now. So now we're kind of in an awkward spot. But we're going to see if we can try to get around it still. Still trying to figure this out. Opponents. Crater Hoop. Ugh. Well, that was not what I was expecting at all. Opponent swings. And that means we're cooked. Alright, opponents. Let him have this one. Not even going to bother blocking. Because we lost no matter what. Ouch. Ooh, that hurt. Well, it is what it is, everybody. Was not expecting the Crater Hoof off the top there, but okay. We'll take our L. So, looking at the time right now, let's go ahead, let's do one more on the budget one. And let's see how we can do, well, we can do still. Hopefully we can get at least one more win with the budget one. I was really happy with that early game one, but let's see if we can try to squeeze out maybe one more. And then we'll see if we can upgrade this to see how well it does, if we really want to go all out with the budget. Okay, so overall, how has anybody had any experience with some of the other cards in the set? Is there any hidden gems that you would think are really good overall from Edge of Eternities? And other question I was going to ask everyone is, how are you feeling with the fact that they're really, really accelerating the other sets? I mean, literally when this came out, we were already talking about Spider-Man. I'm like, whoa, slow down, wait. Because I was really happy with the set. I just didn't like how it got overshadowed by Spider-Man. And then, what is it? We're also going to get Avatar previews soon, too. We're moving way too fast here, everybody. I don't know about you, but it just feels like everything is blurring together. I suppose this is better than ever for content creators like me, but it just also feels very exhausting. Just trying to get everything going. Okay, we'll get our island. We'll get out Ornithopter Paradise. So this at least should set up our Inspirit to then come in and start doing its thing. They are playing mono green. Oh, actually, no, they're playing 5-color. I forgot, it's Go Shintai. So, shrines abound. And here come the shrines. Okay, Buried Ruin. Let's see. We'll do it this way. Inspirit coming down. So we need to start stationing. Ornithopter can't do it, though, but that's okay. We have a Medicant coming in, so that should be good. I also have Whirlwind of Thoughts for redrawing cards, so maybe that'll help us out too. Pinnacle Monk, Conqueror's Galleon, Grim Tutor. What are they getting? Oh, I think I know what they're getting here. They got to get the 5-color enchantment. That's what they're trying to grab. If I know what they were doing. Land War Loam Speaker, tapping. They do. Okay, they turn on a land. Down to 17. Okay, Perilous Landscape. Not the land I want to see, but we'll make it work. So, okay. So, Mendicant. We will play Evasive Maneuvers. Take out their card there. Alright, we can station for 3. Put counters on Mendicant. Sacrifice the land. It's pretty much the last thing we can do. So with that, let's get out... What do we want to get out? I guess we'll get out white. Okay, so... We're almost there. Almost there. Sanctum of All, okay. No surprise there. Opponent could swing with one cute little shrine. Or not. Okay. Alright, so, Pinnacle Monk. This brings back our removal, so that's good. Inspirit will need to station. There we go. And then with that, we will put it back on the core. Down to 13. Start your engines. Second gear. Okay. So far, we're looking pretty good here. We're building up everything pretty well. And we're hopefully going to try to start blowing up the rest of their creatures with another invasive maneuvers. Wait, it's not evasive, it's invasive. I cannot say words, by the way. Words are hard. Anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. That Hoden, however, is going to be a problem for us, but we do have a Whirlwind of Thoughts coming in soon, so hopefully that should be enough for us. And we also have a Reckoner Bankbuster. Oh, the One Ring. Alright. Well. That's going to slow us down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Planner Disruption. I mean, that is annoying, but that doesn't turn off our abilities, so that's not horrible for us. Pinnacle Monk does get pumped. And let's see here. What do I want charge counters on? We're put on the Ornithopter, I guess? No attacks because we can't. So its ability is going to throw away some cards for us. Annoying. But again, it's not the worst. Because we still can get through. Okay. We'll oh wow, we have to discard 4 cards. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Dang, that's really frustrating. But that's okay. We can still get through it just the same. Whew, okay. I suppose this match can still go either way. But wow, our opponent is definitely fighting back. That Hoden is going to be a problem for us, but we will see if we can try to still get around it. Okay, Grasp of Fate. Trying to lock down our card. Okay. We still have options, though. Can't bring in a Go Shintai, so at least that buys us time. Cryogen Relic. Okay, so with that... Cryogen Relic. There we go. Draw another card. Draw another card. Valor's Flagship's not too shabby either. Swiftwater Glyphs, gain some life. Invasive Maneuvers. Take that out. Hey, it's working. Big swing here. Opponent blocks Medicant. Down to 7. Alright. 3. But we're close. I mean, we will have to take some hits here and lose some stuff, which is, again, frustrating. But we're still fighting through a Sanctum of All, which is not easy. I don't know. At one point, I thought about building us a Go Shintai deck to play on stream, but it's kind of narrow and linear. Kind of boring, actually. I prefer to play more fun stuff, which is a little bit more open-ended. Yes, there are going to be some cards that telegraph things like Inspirit here, but at least there's some wiggle room with this. Like, you don't have to play just Spacecraft or vehicles. You can actually do Proliferate shenanigans if you want to. Pacifism. Okay. All right, fine, opponents. That's how you want to do it. They are getting greedy, though. So let's see. See how we do this here. One Spark Crag. Inspirit coming back. Pump up. Draw a card. And then with that, since we can't really do anything with it, might as well just tap it. And then we'll put some counters on Ornithopter here. Down to 8. And we're up to level 4 now. Now, if we can honestly just get that ability to go off with even one artifact, we should be good to go here. Alright. Opponent is now getting out Hodin of Infinite Rage, so now going to start trying to start blowing up stuff before it's too late. Okay. Let's see. If Mendicant is going to get blown up by Hodin next turn, I might have to just sacrifice it with Cryogenic Relic. Oh, ooh, okay. This might actually be helpful too. Okay, hold on. Guidelife Pathmaker. There we go. We pay the 1. There we go. Get another one. Yes. Okay, so this is nice. Okay, hold on. What do we want here? So, Pinnacle. All right, we draw some cards. And then we will look for something at 2. That helps us out. Okay, so what do we want? Well, I guess that helps us out a bit there. So with that, we need the Guidelight vehicles to turn on eventually. So with that, well, I guess Mendicant turns on. Okay. And then we'll put charge counters on. I don't even know. Either way, we're still going to swing here. Down to 11. We're fighting. We're trying. They're not making it any easier on us. So Hodin has to go to Inspirit because that's how they're going to destroy us. Alright. It is what it is. Okay, crew 2. At least by turning on the Guidelight, it gives us a bit of protection for a smidge. Okay, opponent. Yeah, we don't have an answer for enchantments just yet. We have it somewhere in the deck, but we can't not get to it still. Okay, they blow up the Pinnacle Monk. They make us discard. Inspirit's gone again. Still fighting though, but we're losing pretty hard here now. That life gain is now becoming a little too much for us to handle. Maybe I should have gotten something else out instead. Phyrexian Arena. Maybe I should have gotten out... Well, that actually, now that I think about it, won't really matter that much because... Okay. Yeah, opponent's now pulled too far ahead. Alright. Chimley cinches it because we cannot fight through all that. Even with us trying to grab anything else. We just can't do it with what we have. Wow. Well, okay. Well, we lost a little bit more than I was expecting with this deck, but that's okay. Let's now go over the non-budget version. So even if you're still hanging in there and you do like what the deck is trying to do in some way, shape, or form, what if we upgrade our Space Force to a much more stronger build? So here's what we have for this version here that I put together that's a lot more powerful. So obviously, as always, upgrade your mana base first off before you do anything else. Get you a better upgrade for there and you can do a lot more things. So we're going to be upgrading and getting the planet lands here. We'll have Gonjo here. We're going to trim down our plains, islands, and mountains so we can add in Rivendell, Otawara, Sokazin, kind of the same old utility lands you've seen many times before. We're going to be adding in stronger duels. So we'll have Floodfarm Verge, well, the Verge lands, the Shock lands, and the Surveil lands, because that's what we want. The main reason for that you'll see in a moment. We'll add in a Triumph to complement the Mystic Monastery. Keep Arid Archway, but now, of course, we're going to be adding in the real fetch lands. So Arid Mesa here, Flooded Strand, of course, Scalding Tarns. You can technically add in more fetches. I don't want to, though. I just want to try to keep it at least a better balance of utilities and fetches. So Buried Ruins still keep the Command Tower. Demolition Fields, of course, still stays. Adventure Sphere gives us this nice upgrade and a way to kind of give us a little bit of life here and there. Only one life, but hey, one life sometimes can make a difference. Karn's Bastion, because now we can proliferate a lot more easier. Mana Confluence for better fixing. Mech Hanger there. Mirrodin's Core still good. Nesting Ground still good for us. We'll be adding in also Power Depot that was added in from this set, so that means we can use this to then do some modular shenanigans. As far as upgrading the overall mana base, I'm sorry, not upgrade, the overall deck as a whole. So we'll add in cards like Esper Sentinel now. So this provides us a little bit more card draw when we need to. As far as the 2-drop slot for upgrades here, we'll add in cards like Mobilizer Mech. So this way we can then turn some of our other vehicles into artifact creatures for a little bit more consistency. We'll add in, of course, Counterspell and Mana Drain. So these are stronger counterspells for us. In terms of other upgrades, we'll add in weapon manufacturing here. So weapons manufacturing is pretty nice because of the fact that it creates munitions that we can use to just fling at our opponent here. We don't have too many options for blowing stuff up, but we do have some things that can help us take advantage of those artifacts. Dovin's Veto is going to be kept in. Medicant, of course, Station Monitor is being kept in. Enthusiastic Mech not. Pretty much everything here should be about the same as before. 3-drop slot. Let's see. Perilous Snare is going to be a much more better option for us. It also helps us with the start your engine mechanic. And then, of course, it's an exile effect. If we get to max speed, we can start putting +1/+1 counters on creatures for us. So that's good for overall. Unidentified Hover Ship here, also another artifact vehicle. This UFO, of course, will make sure that we can still exile certain things. And it is a vehicle, so we can use it for us to help us out. Simulacrum Synthesizer here, man, this is actually an incredibly powerful card for us that really can help make the deck a lot more stronger by allowing us to station easier, making big constructs. You get the idea, just a lot more consistency with the deck. Thopter Fabricator here just helps us make tokens for us. We may not always need the tokens per se, but it will be helpful for us just to make sure we can get some more stuff to station and just help us go wide. Let's see, as terms of other upgrades for us, Pinnacle Emissary, another good card for us, and we'll be talking about this card a lot more in our upcoming deck tech in a couple of days, so stick around for that. But for now, we can warp this. We haven't actually talked about warp that much, but warping here means that we can cast it for a cheaper cost. Then it has to get exiled, but we can cast it on another turn in the future for full price. But for 1 mana, you can warp this, play a bunch of artifacts, and hopefully get out a ton of drones. Even if you don't warp it, just the drones alone when you pay full price is still pretty solid for us. In terms of the 4-drop slot here, not really anything realistically we want added except for a Supreme Verdict. This is just going to be our emergency panic button kind of Wrath here. Maybe I might put in another Wrath. I don't know. We'll think about that for a second. Otherwise, everything else should stay there the same. 5-drop slot, we have Dawnshire Sunstar Dreadnought here. This is, again, a card I'm looking forward to building around. We actually, I think, have a good janky brew that I think will be great for us once we get that going. And then Sky Sovereign will stick in, of course. The Eternity Elevator is now going to be added in. Keep in mind, this Spacecraft, however, cannot be an artifact vehicle, but it's still a good, although a little bit expensive mana rock for us. That, of course, ability of getting it all the way up to 20 counters does seem daunting, but if we do, we get a huge payoff and basically have enough mana to cast what we need. In terms of anything else that we have over here, not much really anything else. Just pretty much everything we mentioned already. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if I want the Mobilizer Mech. Maybe that might not be too helpful because we're not heavy on vehicles. Let me see if we can try to find something else for that. So instead, what else do we want? I'm trying to think of anything else that might help us with things here. Let me check out real quick here. Anything else that might be helpful for us? Did I miss out on any other things? Pinnacle Store. Well, actually, or maybe we might need another Wrath. I'm not sure. Still trying to figure out again. We're obviously going to be missing cards here and there that might or may not help us out too much here, but we're still trying to, of course, look around to see what could be beneficial to us. Or maybe a sack outlet. Maybe a sack outlet can help us out with making some stuff. So, yeah, that may be actually better for us. Okay, sacrifice an artifact. So that way we can take advantage of all those weapons manufacturing tools or counters. Wait, hold on. Oh, hold on. I did this wrong. Okay. There we go. Much better. Okay. I cannot spell, by the way. Any case, so let's see here. What else do we want that can help us out here? Sacrifice artifact. Mondrak might be helpful too, because we can sacrifice things, but we need something that actually would just help us sacrifice in general. So with that, just something that ongoingly... Okay, maybe Goblin Engineer might be helpful for us. We can use sack those other artifacts to then gain some extra value there. Or, let's see. Or maybe we might just use for something else that can help us out with. Oh, Chandra here could help us out. Let's put in Chandra here. So that'll be helpful because she can sacrifice extra artifacts that we have, and then we can help just draw some cards with that. So that actually might be good for us. Okay, so with that, let's do this now. Wait, hold on. Did I get the right deck? I think I got the wrong deck. Okay, it's okay, everybody. We can do this. We can do this. Totally got this. Totally got this. So while I'm setting up here, for those of you that have already been sticking around, and also those of you that are new viewers, as always, if you do want to support the channel and you want to show us a little bit of love, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you watch the content, whether you're watching across Twitch, X, Instagram, or YouTube. We'll be happy to, of course, see you watching the streams. Your support, of course, helps keep this channel going, whether you do want to support us with the Patreon, and those details, of course, will be linked into the comments of this video once we're done, or you can simply join our Discord for free and just they'll help us with our growing support of additional fiery friends across the globe. Yeah, we actually do have quite a few international fiery friends on this channel, so that's actually pretty fun. But until then, I still appreciate any and all support all of you give me. So with that, let's play Steam Vents tapped. All right, so let's see, opponent. Bring it on.
It's time to
Okay, Shambling Gas, that's fine. Okay, Counterspell's nice for later on. We'll play for now with Gonjo. We will Automated Artificer, get a ramp going. Opponent is also playing Sir Vondum, so okay, so they got a Knight here. This might be an interesting one. We have ways of getting around that, though. So that's not something I worry too much about. Dovin's Veto will be okay later. Let's see. Can't really do much with this now, so we'll tap. Let's dig 5 cards to see if we can grab. Oh, I just tapped way too quick there. Oops. All right, well, I kind of messed up there, everybody, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll still make it work. Let's see. Okay, so we can get Vondum. Maybe this might be helpful. Okay. Okay, so they create a treasure. They pump it. All right. Great. Now it's out of range of us blowing it up right now, but we'll still find a way around it. Let's see. Inspirit. Station it for 1. Put some counters on our creature here. Please start pumping it up. Okay, so they're a sacrifice deck with Sephiroth, and probably gonna get a ton of cheap stuff here. They got the Reliquary Tower out, so they can just keep drawing cards. Okay, Wind Crystal, interesting. Okay, we'll see. Can we get around this? Can we get around this? Get lost. Joy. Alright. So they do get some life gain and drain. That's okay, though, everybody. Okay. Weather Lights. Let's play Chandra for now. So let's see. We will sacrifice one of our artifacts. Thank you for the map tokens, opponents. We will... Oh, well. That's awkward. Can't even put counters on. I kind of wish they could also put counters on Planeswalkers. That actually would have been nice, but maybe that might have been too broken. Teleportation Circle. Okay. Opponents. So just blinking stuff? Not sure they're blinking, but okay. Chandra will die this turn, but at least we got a little bit of value off of her. Okay, opponents. Okay, we lose her. That's fine. Teleportation circle. They do blinking, but they can't sacrifice anything, so they don't get any value out of that per se. But it is going to be from Zervondum. Okay, Pinnacle Monk. Enthusiastic Mechanauts. Pinnacle Monk for... down to 10. Warmaker Gunship. Takes out Sephiroth. Okay. That does pump it up. We will station... Since we can't block anyway. Put 2 charge counters on it. And, well, I guess we'll just do this now. Deck? Okay. Okay. So, I don't know if we're going to survive much longer, but we're going to try. We will try. Cruel Celebrants. Okay. At some point, though, I do want to make a Servondum deck of our own. So maybe this might be the nice little preview as to what's to come once we get that deck going. We haven't done a Sacrifice deck in a little while that does use these colors, so hopefully we'll get that going. Okay. Inventor's Fair. Okay, let's see. Let's think about this for a moment here. Inventor's Fair. Weatherlight. Still can't crew exactly. Damn, this is kind of tough here. Okay, so I guess put counters on that. Wait, oh. Dang it! Ah! I put the wrong counters on it. Okay, so I have messed up here completely. That was supposed to be 2 counters there to turn this on, but okay, I think we're dead. We're dead no matter what. Oh boy. Well, that was a shame, but that's unfortunate, everybody. It's okay. We'll get the next one going in just a second here. Wow. Okay. I mean, even with me messing up there, I wasn't going to make it. That's okay, though, everybody. Not a big deal. Let's see. Can Space Force get us a win this time? We're going to try again with the upgraded deck, everybody. I do feel we can totally do this. I know we can. Steal in this deck. Let's go. Yeah.
It's time to do.
All right. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so we have a lot of white mana. We have an unidentified hunter ship, so maybe this might be helpful. Maybe we can get it with this. Okay, they're playing Vivi, so that means expect shenanigans ahoy. Kind of a shame our Vivi video that we did just didn't make it because we lost connection. That's okay. We're going to try here. Tapped and go. Okay. So let's see here. What have we learned so far about this deck? It definitely can do stuff, which I'm happy about, but it does take a little bit more finesse. This is definitely not an easy... I will definitely say right now, this set has been a very interesting one. I like what artifacts do, but this is probably one of the more complex artifact-focused sets we've done in a while. Okay, opponents. Anything else? Opponents. Scalding Viper. Alright. Anything with a mana value of 3 or less, they ping us. Let's see, what do we want? Nesting Grounds. Cultivator's Caravan. We get pinged. That's fine. We deal with that. That gives us 4. That'll give us 5 next turn. Enough for an Ornithopter and an Inspirit. Okay. Ooh, Enthusiastic Magnaut's actually pretty good here, too. So, in Spirit. We get pinged again. That's okay, though. Ornithopter of Paradise. Pinged again. And cannot station it just yet. We need at least one more turn and we can start stationing. Fortunately, though, we do have Padim, so Padim can help us out with this and protecting everything, so maybe that'll be our way to victory here. We also have to keep that unidentified hover ship looming until VV comes out, at least for a turn. Okay, come on, deck. We can totally do this. We got this. Opponent swinging. Okay, no blocks. Opponents, what you got? Oh, they bounced that back. That's annoying. Okay, that's fine. Playing Padim. We still play... We'll play Enthusiastic Mechanaut. We will get pinged, but that's okay. We can turn on now and station. Put 2 counters on that. This time we'll put +1 counters. Station again to get up to 4. Okay. That's better. Okay, that's better. So hopefully we'll get this on quick. Okay, opponent has got BB. If they don't go off this turn, this does give us now time to fight back. Come on, deck. Curiosity. Oh, dear. Do they crack that? That one land. But if they do, that means that gives us... That means that's all they can have for mana. Nothing? Okay, good. Okay, so we do get to draw some cards, which is great. So with that, let us unidentified hover ship. Charge counter on the land. Hover ship takes out BB. So that does now buy us time. BB gets bounced back. Let's see, we will play... Ugh, this hurts a lot. Okay. We can... Station. Station. That turns that on. And then we can put... Let's see. +1/+1 counters on there. Swing here to 19. Oh, this is going to be so painful no matter what we do here. Okay. Lumen class frigate. And then Ornithopter of Paradise. We will then move 1 counter from... Move 1 counter here. Station here. Okay. A lot of counter maneuvering around. Maybe we should have gone a little bit more with the proliferate, but I don't know. Still something to think about overall. Okay. We can still move the charge counter off of Mirrodin's Core if we need to, just to put back on Inspirit, or maybe use other things here to pump things up here. But it's not too bad. Vivi is still off the field, so that does give us time. If they don't have any more... Okay, so they do have a Warm Power Stone, but that's a lot of mana they just spent. So I think we might have it here. We might actually pull this off. Okay, Buried Ruin. And a Thundering Falls. Witch Enchanter. There we go. I think we got this here. Blowing up the Power Stone. Nice. Okay, so... Station. That now pumps that up. There we go. Okay, so I think with this, we should be done here. Crew 3. By tapping down Padim. And Ornithopter. Turning that on. Okay. Let's see, and then... Goes in the Mechanaut. Counters. Whew. There we go. All right, we finally got another win with the upgraded deck. Yes. All right. Our spacecraft, our vehicles, all of our artifacts cannot be stopped there. Nice. We managed to prevent the VV from going off. Oh, I was stressing out on that one there. But okay. Yay, I'll take that win. I'll take that win. All right. So there you go. We were able to get at least one win with the upgraded deck. That's nice. All right. Let's get another one going. Let's keep those good times rolling, everybody. How you feeling overall, everybody? And also, how's everyone's weekend going so far? I'm sorry if I haven't had a chance to ask anybody, but hopefully, again, your weekends have been going great. I don't know what you guys are up to. Have anybody of you been able to crack any Edge of Eternities packs as yet? Let me know what your hits are. We will be cracking our first Edge of Eternities pack, as literally, because as I'm speaking right now, I think my box of Edge of Eternities should be coming in today. So it should be coming in anytime now. Probably by the time I'm done with the stream, I can actually crack our first pack, and we can then hopefully get that filmed and then up for you probably tomorrow morning. So that should be good to go. Okay, but until then, let's see what we got here. Okay, ooh, so we got the Esper Sentinel. That's actually solid for us for the early game. If they start casting any non-creature spells, we could definitely start getting some shenanigans going. Unfortunately, though, our opponent's playing a really dirty card here. This is a really powerful one. We haven't had a chance to play with it ourselves that much, but it is good for what it does. But we'll see if we can get around it. Thankfully, though, being mono black means they don't have many answers for artifacts, so that does give us a chance to hopefully get to victory. Power Depot, all right. Let's see. I guess we'll put on the Rivendell. Here. Okay, it's interesting that the Power Depot comes in with modular. Not that that helps us out that much, but maybe that might be helpful. If our opponent starts blowing up stuff, that does give us at least some time with Esper Sentinel to at least get a card back. Even if it only gets one. Okay. Chromatic Lantern. Swing. There we go. And then all of our lands now are fixed, so that's good for us. Okay. Swamp opponents. Slowly building. I need to get to 8 mana for that card, though. Can we stop them? Refurbish. That'll be good for later on. Let's see. Inspirit coming in now. Space Force. Our spacecraft is ready to launch, everyone. Let's station now. So no swing, but that's okay. We can start putting counters on Esper Sentinel, and that'll help us out here. So now for sure, we could definitely get some value back from the card. I wish we could move this counter, though, onto the Esper Sentinel. That's okay. Still going to be a while before we get to the battleship, but we do have a refurbish too, so if they make us discard, we can get around things. Vincent Valentine. Okay. Alright, so is there a way around that? Let's station. Put counters on there. Okay, little by little. Let's see, whenever opponent's creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on equal to his power. When he attacks, you transform him. Okay, how do I, okay, hold on. Think about this for a second, everybody. Okay. Creature. Okay. So he's going to blow up no matter what. Esper Sentinel. Small price to pay. But, let's see. Okay, do they swing? They cannot, because now we just turned on Inspirit, so, phew, okay. Gives us a little bit of a shot here. Arid Archway, Not quite the land I wanted, but I guess we'll use that still. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. Oh, hold on, everybody. Pausing just for 1 second here. Because we cannot have bots doing their thing. This is also the reason why, for those of you that, if anybody saw me on Kick, do apologize. I had to get rid of Kick because we were not getting good value there. Okay, in the meantime, let's cap that. Arid Archway coming in. Bounce back the plains. Well, not really anything else we can do with it. so we can scry at least with that. Okay. Ooh, Dawn's... Okay, okay. There we go. Oh, man, this is going to be so awesome once we get to it. Let's see. In the meantime, put more counters on it. We just swing with the flagship vessel. Smashing our way in. Okay, so... even if our opponent blows up Inspirits, Dawnslayer is going to be coming in, and we can start doing massive swings with that thing. I mean, it won't do as damage to our opponent's face, but that's okay. Ooh, do you pay opponent? Nice. Okay, we'll take that. So yeah, no surprise, Inspirit's gone. We'll decline because we can bring him back with Refurbish anyway. Opponent is going to probably swing here. And that's okay if they do. Oh, jeez. Okay. Wow. Okay. So, okay. Well, I guess we have no choice. We have to put back Inspirit into the command zone. Okay. He attacks and transforms. Ugh. Not what I was expecting out of this turn, but that's okay. We'll find a way still, everybody. We'll find a way. Okay. How do we do this here? Can't get the battleship yet. Okay, Guide Life Pathmaker. We'll dig out... we need to dig out something to deal with that. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Okay. Get Perilous Snare. So we can't get it on the battlefield, unfortunately, but that's okay. Exiling is going to be the best thing we can do to that Vincent Valentine. Otherwise, he's just going to roll us over here real quick. Okay. Opponent, what else you got? Anything else? 3 cards in hand. Arden can come in, but he doesn't have any creatures on the field. Guide Life Pathmaker. Might be able to get there with here. Trying. Okay. While our opponent is also trying to think about stuff right here, let me in the comments, everybody. How do you feel overall about the deck so far? How do you like Spacecraft? Like them? Do they feel clunky to you? Have you had a chance to play with any of them? Is it something you like or something you dislike? Let me know. I would love to hear from you guys about your thoughts on this. Don't worry. We will talk about, of course, what we are planning for the future coming up in a little bit. Once we get to near the end of the stream. But until then, some way, somehow, we're going to try to survive here. Anchor to Reality. That might be helpful, too. So, first off, Perilous Snare. The Beast is gone. We will play Chandra. This is mostly just to kind of...
I'm going to smoke the competition. My team's got me covered.
There we go. Swing here.
No breaking till the end.
Do you block opponents? They do. Okay, gone. We do lose our Guide Light there, but that's fine. Just trying to keep things off the field to survive a little bit longer. Okay, if we can get to Dawnslayer, I think we might have a shot here. So it was a good thing for us we got rid of Vincent Valentine. Okay, so they're going to exile cards. Not ideal, but it's fine. Do they swing at us or Chandra? Us or Chandra? Okay, it'll be Chandra. Okay.
Can't fail.
Okay, reroute systems. We anchor to Reality. We can sacrifice... sacrifice that. Okay, we got to dig out something that can actually hit our opponent here. And fast. Or at the very least, stall out for a bit. Is there anything in our deck that really helps us out here? I guess the hover ship probably might be the best option. Hold on. Toughness of 5 or less. Okay. Okay, so that's gone. And then, okay. We can still take one more hit here. Still in this race. Not by much, but we're trying. Okay, they cycle. Good boy. Okay, opponent looks like they found an answer. Dang. Not quite what I was expecting here. But unfortunately, I think we lost this one. Man. We were trying. 2 damage is just not enough to kill anything here. Maybe I should have taken out Arden instead. Okay, well. That's mono black for you. Dang, I thought we were going to stabilize there. Well. That was unfortunate, but it's okay, everybody. It's okay. Not a big deal. It's fine. We take the wins and we take the losses. So, let's go ahead. Let's continue on. We're seeing if we could try to at least get a little bit more value going on with our stuff. Okay. Okay, loading up the next game right here. So, with another question I do want to ask everybody. So, how are we feeling about the last 2 sets that are coming out? I know we'll talk about these a little bit more once we get down the line near the end of the year. But how have you been feeling overall with everything that's been released this year? What have been so far your favorite sets? The sets you like, the sets you dislike, and the sets that feel a little clunky overall? Let me know in the comments, everyone. I would still love to hear from all of that. Personally, so far, I think this is probably going to still be my favorite set, Edge of Eternities, even though we just got started with it. I did like the Final Fantasy set. Yes, I even will admit I did like Ether Drift, even though it was a little clunky at times. Tarkir was okay. It wasn't like super duper mind-blowing to me, but I still had fun with it. It wasn't exactly something I was like blown away with, but it's definitely something I liked. Alyssa Sunslayer. Okay, we'll see if we can try to find a way around that. They can destroy enchantments, but see if they have a way of getting around artifacts. I still don't think the Spider-Man one, I know it's going to sell well, but I don't know. I'm still not feeling that set. It still just doesn't feel anything like what we've seen so far with Magic, so that's how I feel with that one. Okay, so once we get to 3 mana, we can start doing stuff. I think In-Spirit probably coming in first will be our best option. Or we can use the Valor's Flagship to kind of cycle things. We'll see. Okay, opponent, what you got? Tap an untapped permanent we control. Okay, so you tap this and you can fix your mana. Okay. Interesting design there. I like that. Can help tap certain things you usually don't tap. Okay, got the Verge. Mana Confluence. Alright. Paying ourselves. In-Spirit comes in. Got our Space Force. Okay, next, if they put down more creatures, we'll just blow up everything with Supreme Verdict. So that gives us a little bit of time to rebuild. If we can get the Dreadnought in also, that would be amazing. Giant Growth. Huh. Not what I was expecting, but okay. What does that mean? Why would they have a pump spell in a Glissa deck like this? I think it's mostly for Glissa herself, but okay. Okay, draw a card. I realize also that those counters being removed also will be a pain too, because that actually does counter In-Spirit's ability. So let's see if we can get around this. Okay, so in the meantime, Hana is going to come in. Do they have an answer? Wait, they can't have an answer. They only have black. But I worry they're going to have an answer next turn. Okay, so opponent is thinking hard here. But what else could they possibly be doing? Yeah, Yeah, so we'll do this. They can remove the counters from our own artifact here. Can't submit anything. We don't have any artifacts. So this is actually going to be a very frustrating one just because of the fact that Glissa here actually does have an answer for everything. Wow, she's such a painful, annoying card. First strike and death touch means she pretty much can kill anything very easily. Dealing damage means she can destroy enchantments. And with a deck like ours, she can get rid of our counters, or she can just simply draw cards for nothing. Wow, very, very frustrating card. How do you deal with this, except for, I guess, just hard removal and exile effects? That's probably going to be our best shot here. Ideally, I would like Glissa to... Yeah, so they're going to remove the permanents. But I suppose that's better than the card draw. Okay, so that does turn it off, unfortunately. Okay, Dawnsider can't do its thing until we get the 10 counters, which is still a ways away for us. This might not be the way I want to do it, but I might not have a choice here, so... Station again. Okay, opponents. And then Supreme Verdict. Down to 11. Trying here. Blowing up the whole board. So it does give us a bit of time to wipe everything and then try again. Okay. But at least we got Inspirits still on the field. Will they pay the 5 to get Glissa back out? Okay, Adaptive Spore Spire. Or Sword. Wait, no. Adaptive Spore Singer. Wow, I do not recognize this card. Okay, I guess they pump it up. Can't proliferate, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, anything else, opponents? What else you got? Okay, nothing so far. Flooded Strands, that's not too shabby. Sacrifice that now. Let's see. So that gives us what? That means we can play 2 cards we want to. Let's see. We'll get an island. That turns on now all of our verge lands, which is nice. And then I guess we'll pass here. Nothing yet. But the idea I have right here is Raft's Captain, or Caption, into Lumen class. If they tap out, this will work better. Opponent swings. Alright, well, let's give this a shot. Opponents. Wow, they actually pumped it up already. Interesting. Wasn't expecting that, but okay. Oh, no blocks. That's okay. Down to 7. Okay, Lumen class, Frigate. Okay. Redeem. Okay. How do we do this? Is there a way out of this? This Redeem comes in. So it gives our stuff indestructible. Okay, so with that, we could station here. Okay, opponents. Anything else? I was thinking. All we can do is put counters on it. 2 charge counters, up to 5. Whew. Yeah, so I think I kind of have an idea of how I could probably refine this deck a little bit more. It's still not quite where I want to be at, but that's okay. Okay, up to 7. We needed a 12 to actually get the most value out of it. Okay, still ways away, though. But okay, if I was to rebuild this deck again, and we'll talk about this near the end of the stream, I think I have a better understanding of the station mechanic and how we can kind of get better refinement out of it. Disturb Slumber. Oh. I mean, okay. I mean, I've done that before too, opponent, so don't feel too bad about that, but it's still funny when people kind of do that and they realize, oh, I tapped the wrong land. Undying Malice. Huh. Okay. Down to 3. Do they remove charge counters or do they just draw a card? Yep, they do. It still has it on, so Station still can do its thing. Down to 1. We still get to draw a card, though, so that's fine. Arcane Signets. Okay. I would love to turn on right now Dawnsire. Oh, dang, I want to turn that on so bad, but I just can't do it. Like, there's really no other option here. 7. Okay. Station here. Station there. Up to 13. Arcane Signets. Whirlwind of Thought. Counters on that. So let's see. So we go up to 5. No, we can't attack. Okay. I'm trying. We literally are just down to this right now. Hexproof is the only thing keeping this thing alive right now. If our opponent hits swings with Glissa, which we can't do, we have to just... Okay. Okay. 2 more cards, opponents. Cackling Prowler. Okay. They swing here. Do we take out... Do we hit the Glissa? Okay, so we go up to 6. Wait, no. We go up to 5. They can destroy this. Don't want the value for that, so we'll take the hit there. Oh, wait. Oh. Never mind. I realize now the first strike does not trigger lifelink. Wow, I messed that up so hard there. Okay. Don't hate me, everybody. Wow, I don't know how to play today. Okay. That's fine. I was not sure we were going to survive that one. Dang. Okay. Well, maybe this is why I don't get that many viewers, because I'm absolutely terrible at this game. I'm just kidding, everybody. I'm still having fun, though. But seriously, though, it's always important to always read your cards, everybody. Even so, the deck still can do things, but I am starting to understand a little bit better now that I got a real good feel for it as to how we might want to refine this in the future. Definitely, we need a lot more proliferate in the deck, but we'll rant about that once we get to that point. We are closing in on the end here, so I probably should be a little bit more mindful of that in the future. So in the meantime, let's get that Arid Mace out. Okay, opponent, Swamp, Arcane Signet. Okay, so they are playing Kefka, which we have played already. Kefka is incredibly strong, all things considered. Okay, in the meantime, let's get out the Triumph, so we got perfect fixing there. Okay, Sacred Disturber will be nice for the future. Let's see, Mountain. And... Enthusiastic Mechanaut. This makes Smuggler Copter only 1 if it just sticks. If Kefka comes in, we can blow it up with our card here. Momentum Breaker. Okay. Okay. Either way, I realized I would have destroyed our vehicle no matter what, so that's kind of frustrating. Let's see. Let's bring an Inspirit now. Opponents? Do you have an answer? They do. Dang. Okay. Put it back. Okay, opponents. They hit themselves hard with Aquazaws. A little scary, but that's okay, everybody. We have a way to get around that. Let's see. Wait, we can't play that. We're going to wait for a moment here. Okay, so when it attacks, we have to discard. Bounce that away. Okay, so we lose a card here. Reroute systems. That doesn't really do anything for us, so we might as well lose it. Down to 20. They go up to 26. They have second gear in motion. Got a planes. Play Esper Sentinel. And pass. Okay, so obviously they'll replay again the go blank, but by doing so, at least we might get some extra value out of the with Esper Sentinel. Maybe if they swing, we memories of we stroke of midnight them. Hold on, do they pay? All right, Aklazaz is down, so it does get transformed. We lose our other cards, but that's a small price to pay. Dawnsire, okay. So let's do this first off. Station. Start putting counters on it. Okay, so any other non-creature spells, hopefully we can just start. Okay. Okay. So we do lose that. Do they pay the 2, though? They do. Okay, well, little by little, we might find a way out of this. Possibly, or not. I don't know. Okay, we go down to 19. The Eternity Elevator. Okay. Well, that's not horrible for us. Put Dawn Siren now. Put counters on it. 2 charge counters. We still got literally 5 turns until this actually can do something. So it's going to sit out there for quite a while. Kefka coming down. We lose our elevator. That's okay. I mean, mana-wise, I think we can still survive. We just need to start doing some swings with this sucker. But we need to find a way out of this quick. We are losing out here very quickly here. Focus Fire. That might be helpful. Two charge counters. Pass. Okay, Focus Fire can take out Tiny Bones at least. So the attack trigger goes off, but we take out Tiny Bones here now. Because we cannot have him steal cards from us. It's one thing I absolutely hate. Oh, come on, opponents! No! They negated us. Oh, boy. All right. Okay, well, I don't think we're going to win this one either. Come on. Can I at least get one more win out of this deck before we end up losing again? Dang. Yeah, I think it's probably the one thing I hate more than losing out on counter spells is I hate my stuff getting stolen. I think that's probably the most frustrating mechanic for me. Don't get me wrong, we've played stealing decks before, but it's still just not something I like at all. Okay. Doesn't do it for us, and we lose. Wow. Okay, well, unfortunate. The non-budget one is not working as well as I thought it was. Maybe we need something else to proliferate, or I guess maybe that might help us out a little bit more. Maybe we need stronger removal, I guess. So I'm going to do one small modification, and then after that, we'll do one more game. After that, win or lose, no matter what happens, we will still try to see what we can do. We need more destruction stuff. Things that can help us just blow things away. Definitely need a lot more of that. So with that, so cards like, I think Get Lost probably would be our better option here instead of cards like, what is it? Focus Fire is cute, but it didn't really help us as much as I was expecting it to. We'll put in the Get Lost instead. That's a little bit more of a stronger option for us. And let's see here. I don't know if we want anything else to help us out in making our stuff a little stronger here. Okay, hold on. Wait, I cannot spell. Hold on. Proliferate. Okay, there we go. Huh. Or maybe we need more card draw. Let's see. Or I'm not sure. Hold on. Ichor Moon Gauntlet might be helpful. Let's see. Or an Exoral Tide also. I realize Proliferate on there is not too shabby. Flux Channeler is also good too. It's a good cheap option for us. Yeah, maybe we should have gone a little bit more on the... on that side of things. Let's cut Sky Sovereign. Put an Exorbital Tide. And then... anything else that really doesn't help us all that much, because we really want to stick to... well, Valor's Flagship may not help us out that much either. So put an Ichor Gauntlet. We'll do that instead. Just a couple small quick tweaks here. Alright, so this is the final one, everybody. Win or lose. No matter what happens, we are going to wrap it up here now. We are running a little bit over the time I'd like to, but that's okay, everybody. I still appreciate all of you that are watching right now across any and all socials that I am on. So thank you so much for that. I know it's not the most flashiest way to do it. We did get a couple of good wins with the deck, but unfortunately we are struggling a little bit with the non-budget one. I don't know how, but we just are. Still, we can still make it work with what we got. So with that, let's see, opponent will be going first. They are playing Cloud. We just need to lock down Cloud to make sure he doesn't do anything. We have, thankfully, the right options for that, but it's going to be a little while before we get there. Elegant Parlor. Surveil. Okay, so we did get a land, so that's fine. Keep that. Stoneforge Mystic. That's the thing. So they're going to find... what are they going to get? Is it the hammer? Or they sort of body mind. Okay. Well. Can we stop that before it's too late? I don't know. But we will try. Put the equipment onto the battlefield. They still have to do its thing, though. Genji Glove. Okay. For now, flood the engine. Turns off Stoneforge Mystic. Locks it out. They can't use Genji Glove for a bit. And also that turns off Stoneforge's ability. So they have to now pay fairly for everything. Aldebert. I do like the card. This is actually going to go in my Night stack. Okay, draw a card. Nice. Smuggler's Copter. Okay, Whirlwind of Thoughts. So first off, Scalding Tarn. Crack the Scalding Tarn. Okay. We will get out... okay, which land do we want? Blue-white? I think the blue-white one. Take a little damage there, but that's okay. And then... we will wait on Wrath Caption. Sounds like I'm saying rough caption here. Wrath Caption? Rough Caption? Okay. Opponent is going to try to swing here. They have Double Strike. They're equipping. They'll be swinging here. They got Double Strike, so... ugh. Okay. So, let's see. Take the hit there. Swings again. Yep. Okay. Down to 17. Getting a treasure. Down again. It's a lot of damage, though. Cloud coming in. A Raptor would really be nice. Okay, they're still getting the rest of the swords. Kilo, haven't played this at all the entire time we've been streaming, so... okay. Sacrifice Arid Mesa. I guess at this time we can't take any more damage, so we're going to have to get a basic, unfortunately. Smuggler's Copter. And pass. Okay, so I don't know if we're going to survive this next hit here. I'm going to try, but unless we can get a Wrath, we cannot get through this. Okay, Razorgrass Ambush. What did they lock away? Oh, I guess I'll turn on Smuggler's Copter now. Dang. Okay. So that means, what is it? So when they swing... so one phase. Block there. They draw a card. Or actually, we draw a card. Okay, so then... Whirlwind of Thought would be nice to keep. Well, we're going to throw away Pinnacle Kill Ship because that's not going to do anything for us. Okay, take the hit there. They swing again. Okay, so we need to block all that damage. Okay, block here. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to try. Okay, solemn. Simulacrum synthesizer, I should say. Okay. We have to play the... I have to play it as a land. Ugh. Not good. Okay. Kilo. Make a construct. No attacks. Okay. So... we can keep blocking, but it's still not enough. We need to survive to actually get a Wrath. A Wrath helps us with everything. Sword of Fortune Frontier. That goes on Cloud. Okay. Anything else, opponents? Is this it for us? Did we lose? Okay. So another combat phase. We have to block here. And, oh jeez. Like, I don't think no matter what we do here, we can't win. Okay, they go up to 54. Down to 3. Yeah, we lost. Man, I was hoping we were going to get at least one more win today before we ended this, but it looks like it's not going to happen. Block with Kilo. Dang. Even a Simulacrum Synthesizer cannot save us here because we just do not have enough against this very aggressive game plan they've got. Okay. Pass the collar. Free. Okay. Sokazen coming in. Doesn't do it for us. We can bring in Inspirit. Makes deliver us 1 token. Whirlwind of Thought doesn't do anything. I can station. But it's just not enough. Alright. Well, okay. So I think we got a better idea of, like, how this all comes together. So let's talk about that now in the wrap-up here. We unfortunately didn't get that many wins today versus our last deck, but that's okay, everybody. Either way, that was it for today, everybody. But let's talk about the deck overall before we wrap this up. So, how are we feeling overall, everybody? So, what do you think about our Space Force deck? Do you like it? Would you play this deck in any way, shape, or form? And to be honest with you, I really, again, this is I know I say this a million times, but I really like what the deck is trying to do. But I think, again, I'm not saying I'm a very good brewer. I try, but there's a lot of stuff that I tend to gloss over, or sometimes I'm not looking at. So I try to make things a little more conventional. The deck does fun things. It can do fun things. I do like what the deck does, but I think I probably might actually cut a good majority of the vehicles that the deck has, and I probably would throw in a ton of proliferate stuff anyway, because you want to get these spacecraft functional ASAP. That's mostly what you want to do. So if I was to do this deck again, just to differentiate itself from vehicle decks and other artifact decks, you really want to go all in proliferating. Proliferating is going to be a much more better option for you for this deck versus trying to mix and match vehicles like I did. We still got some wins with the deck, but the best way you're going to get value out of this is once you can get the flagship vessel up to 8 counters to turn it on and give everything hexproof and indestructible. That's when your deck really feels like it can stomp everything. But until then, you're still at the mercy of just trying to get everything up and running. So it's going to take a while. Deck is very slow, but it can be faster if we actually proliferate things. So something I would say, we do have the colors for proliferate in white and blue. So I would definitely say that it probably would be a better option for us if we were to kind of rebuild this again. I still like what the budget deck is doing. If you still want to build it, don't worry. I will leave a link in the details as to, how this all is. As far as the upgraded one, maybe I probably upgraded it in the wrong direction. Again, it's just going to be emphasizing one more time, proliferate. Proliferate is going to be your best option, and anything that can add counters to take advantage of that. Like cards like Boon of Safety here would help us out because the shield counters can be used with proliferate to give us a lot more protection, a little bit more insulation. So I would probably rebuild this one more time as mostly proliferate and counters of all kinds. That's mostly how I'd probably do it in the future. Still, I like what the deck does. There is potential for, making this definitely a stronger deck overall. But again, anytime we play budget decks, you always know how it goes. Sometimes you're just going to have runs where you're going to do amazing, and sometimes you have runs that you're going to get blown away. It makes your deck feel like absolute doo-doo. Still, overall, I'll probably keep this in my collection here, but I'm going to try to refine it a little bit more and make it something that's a little bit more enjoyable overall. Now, with all that said, one more time, if you do want to enjoy the deck in the future, just again, check out the links that I will leave for both. Maybe you might have a better version than we did today, but we are going to try to pull this off again, maybe in the future, maybe once I have a better idea of how we can make this stronger. Now, before we go, as always, I appreciate all of you for hanging out. So because all of you who are still watching right now, my true fire friends, you're going to get a little sneak peek as to what's to come in the future. So we're going to be building right now. Well, actually, we already finished it. We're just trying to finish up the edits right now. Drone Strike is going to be our first deck tech that focuses on Edge of Eternities. So you get a sneak peek right here as to what we're building here, using some of the key cards that I really like from the set that highlight the card that you voted on, which was, again, Pinnacle Emissary for the first deck tag. So this is going to be coming up soon. We'll talk about that completely in detail. You'll get gameplay for it coming up soon. As far as beyond that, our future streams. So we do have another Brawl deck that we're working on right now. I'm going to refine it a little bit more, but it's almost done. So we have Landfall Burn. I'll come up with a better name. But Hanuk here, Memorial Ensign. I like what this card is doing here, and I really think we can build something hilarious that works definitely in my wheelhouse. I love burn decks. I love just blowing stuff away. So that's going to be that coming up in the future, most likely for a future stream down the line. As far as the second card you all voted on the Dreadnought card. So we're definitely going to try to build something with that, but something completely different from anything else that's out there. A lot of people are trying to look at a very conventional way of using Dawnsider here with the 100 damage it can do. Most people are going to try to hit like a creature that can burn out an opponent for 100 damage. But as much as I love burn, it's a little played out. So we're going to take a break and try to do something a little bit more spicier. So we're going to try to see if we can hit a hornet nest with our Dawnsider and then see if we can make 100 insects that are flying in death touch. That I think will be something we're going to try to make happen. But this will be something as a future deck tech in a couple weeks. So we'll start filming this most likely tomorrow afternoon so we can get that deck tech ready midway through August. So that's coming up soon. Any decks beyond that? It's all coming down to just, again, I just need more time to keep looking at what is buildable. We do have several other cards that I do want to build around. As I mentioned earlier, we're probably going to do a Tezzeret Brawl deck. I'm looking forward to building that one now. I wanted to do Tezzeret originally for 60 card, but it's just way too expensive. But we'll still find a way to make Tezzeret work with the new version, and we'll throw in some other versions of Dimir control cards to make them really, really rock. So that's going to be coming up soon. I don't know what else we can probably look at from the set, but there is definitely some other cards that are going to be done. Oh, I did forget to mention. Oh, yes. So obviously we got to do the lobster. Like, I know a lot of people out there are already using it, but we have to do it. So we got a copy of him finally. Ragost, the lobster. We got to make all those foods. We got to drain and life gain ourselves like crazy. I would definitely want to do this one. I think probably for the last stream, once we get near Spider-Man, I'll probably do Spacecraft one more time, but we're going to do a 5-colored one. I think now it's becoming a bit of a tradition where near the end of the run of a set, we tend to do a 5-color deck in some way, shape, or form. We did that for the Final Fantasy set. A couple months ago, we did one also for the Tarkir Dragonsword set. So we did 5 colors. So I think we'll keep that maybe as a tradition. Just because, you know what? Why not? Why not we just go all out with something hilarious? And finally, my only other idea that I have is I'm probably going to try to do at least one standard deck. I know some people don't like standard right now, but standard has been refreshed. So I want to give standard one more shot with maybe a stronger deck that's a little bit more on the competitive side. But we'll talk about that and how it's going to look down the line. Anyways, that is it for today, everybody. Thank you one more time to everybody who has shown up today, whether you're here live or on the replay. I appreciate all of you. So again, the shout outs as always. Dan Splendid, I know you were there for just a little bit, but I still appreciate you hanging in there for me. Thanks again for always showing up for me. Blake Griffin 27 over on Instagram there, and I do see Crankle Cards popping in for a little bit there. Thank you so much as always, everybody, for those of you that are watching. Even if you don't say anything on the chat, that's perfectly fine. I still appreciate your support in any way, shape, or form. One more time, if you do want to support me beyond this, we do have a Patreon. We're going to throw up some extra bonus footage. Don't worry, I know I keep saying this, but as soon as I can get some time, we'll throw up some more fun stuff, more personalized videos that'll show off maybe a bit of my personal collection of Magic cards. Maybe we might do it in the future, maybe a live stream where I'm actually not playing Magic. I know, crazy idea, but hey, we might try to do it for members and viewers only that want to check out, like, you know, some other fun games that we can play and just sit and just chill out for a bit of time. That's all going to be coming down the pipeline, so it is going to be there for you guys. But until then, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of the weekend however you want to. And again, we'll have a chance to do this again. I'm planning for Wednesday next week. hopefully that'll be another fun day of Magic for everyone. But until, as always, I do want to leave you with this reminder. Just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. We will see you again on Wednesday, everybody. Later.